question. Very simple question. What do you feel like is the easier emotion? When you hate somebody or when you love somebody? I feel like loving somebody, it's a little bit more complicated. Compared to hate, I feel like it's too simplistic. It's too easy. It's very direct. If this person wrongs me, simple, I hate you. But what happens if I told you that, you see, to hate somebody is truly harder if you do not have self-love within yourself. Because the more love you acquire, the more you start to understand that no human is perfect. A quote that I would like to bring up. This is from Ephesians. It stated, with all the lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yah, onto a perfect man, onto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Messiah, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yah through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart. But ye have not learned Messiah, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So when you first hear that, it's a lot to take in. You're hearing Messiah, some words that we're unfamiliar with, like long-suffering, meekness. But let's just focus on the key words that stood out. The unity of the faith, the unity of the Spirit. There is only one race, the human race. We all have something that connects us that we don't share with any other life form. That is the connection to God. We all have a spirit because the spirit was a gift to us from God. Now, what we do not understand is because, like I said, we are one body, it is very easy for energy to be transformed or transferred among us because we are all connected. Think about it like this. A bully. You know the cases where it's like a bully's having trouble at home because they have no way to escape from it. That energy, all that hate that they've been getting from whatever caregiver, all right? Let's say they end up bullying you. The hate energy gets transferred onto the bully and now onto you. You see how you're now unaware of where this hate is coming from because you know you didn't do anything wrong. But yet this person has such a level of animosity towards you that it's leaving you in a state of confusion. You're thinking, why? And guess what? If you are unaware of your own emotions, because of the bully's transfer of energy, now you are going to transfer that negative energy, that hate, onto somebody else. You are continuing a cycle. Versus, if you understand that this person is trying to send this hateful energy towards you, they just try to bully you or whatever, and you simply brushed it off and kept going about your day, the energy is stopping with you. It doesn't carry on anywhere else. You see, this is the purpose that I'm making this video. Because we are all connected. We are all connected through love. Because the same way that you can transfer negative emotions is the same way that you can transfer love onto somebody. To further elaborate, forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is the act of releasing any type of anger that you felt, resentment. You are allowing it to now be released from your body, released from your mind. That's what forgiveness is. And this is what I want to connect to now the second part of the verse that I read. Having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yah through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart, but ye have not so learned Messiah. Now, when you think of forgiveness, it is one thing to just forgive the person that has wronged you, but it is another thing to pray for them. One of the Messiah's favorite teachings was forgive your enemies, even when they try to persecute you. Because you do not understand what is going on behind your perspective. If we come back to the bully example, you have to understand it is a transfer of hate. Whatever caregiver, whatever grown authoritarian figure, whatever they are going through, it has created this negative energy, that being hate, that they are now putting onto their child. And that child is now trying to put it onto you. Your objective is to understand, instead of now continuing to transfer this energy from person to person, it can stop with you because you are releasing it through forgiveness. Not only are you just forgiving, but now you are also praying for this person as well. You see, I think love by far is way easier to accomplish because of the simple fact you are looking out for another person. When you sympathize with somebody who you feel like is your so-called enemy, you gain an insight into what their perspective is, why they are acting the way that they are. Through asking the right questions, you can figure out what the source of this negative energy is coming from that is fueling them in the first place. But more importantly, when you pray for them, when you are showing sympathy, when you are showing a caring heart for somebody who tried to quite literally, purposefully hurt you, you are transmuting their energy into something positive. And you are creating a cycle in their life that they've never seen before. You are creating a new branch within them for good outcomes, for positive life. When somebody is used to a certain way of living, to a certain way of doing anything, that's all they know how to produce. But when you are the person that makes that change, when you are the person that gives them grace, now you've opened them into a whole new world. You see, so many people, they want to receive God's blessing. They always want to receive. But how often do you give? How often do you give grace? You want God to come up clutch in your shortcomings. You want God to be that final puzzle piece. You want God to overlook the things of your past. But yet you don't want to ever give somebody that second chance. You don't want to ever give somebody that pass. I'm not saying be a pushover. I'm not saying tolerate all disrespect that comes to you. I'm saying be patient. When we come back to the verse and we look at forbearing with one another in love, the definition of forbearing is patience and restraint. When you look at the characteristics of the Messiah, he was always patient. He allowed people to criticize him, allowed the name calling, but then he corrected it with grace. In the same way, when somebody is wronging you, they may be unaware that they're even wronging you in the first place. They may not even know, but it is your job to give them grace. Loving people is easy because you gotta understand it. There was a time where you were lost. There was a time where you didn't know what the right and wrong things to do were, but yet you received grace. In the same way, if you see somebody is misguided, why would you then allow them to keep transferring these negative emotions to other people? Sympathize with them. Try to understand where is this person coming from. Now, there are some extreme cases, right? If somebody spits on you for no reason, obviously there's no explanation for why somebody would do that. You should even look for an explanation. You gotta understand this. Everything in life is a decision. People will always remember the reaction more than the actual cause. People will always remember the retaliation more than the initial thing that made it happen. People remember Will Smith slapping Chris Rock because that was the reaction. But people do not remember the offensive joke that Chris Rock had made about his wife's alopecia. This is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Perspectives are so powerful because sometimes people step on your toes without them even knowing. And if you do not have forbearing, patience, and restraint, if you're not moving in love, what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna have the Will Smith situation in which you act out of anger. You have transferred hate. You have transferred negative energy. The people that have hate, right? We can connect it back to the verse. The ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their hearts. Their heart is stopping them. Their heart is stopping them, quite literally, from receiving grace, from giving grace. That is how they end up being alienated from the life of Yah. Because you gotta understand, we are all God's family. We are all supposed to have the unity and the knowledge of the Son of Yah. To even go further in depth, what is the knowledge? We have from the mouth of the Messiah himself. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. You see how everything is connected? The very first opening line was saying to be forbearing and love. Be patient, have restraint. Because when you have a family member that drives you insane, drives you to the absolute breaking point, no matter what though, something within you is like, I'm still not gonna abandon them. You would never fully transfer that negative emotion to your sibling. You would never say you truly hate your sibling. Now, if we are all God's family, because we are following the teachings of the Messiah has ordained that we must love one another and we must love God. Because love is the strongest and most powerful driving force of anything. It's easier to forgive somebody when you have love for that person. That is why the transferring of hate, it can stop with you. If you allow yourself to, you know what, let me take this hate from you. Can I just ask you, why? Why? Simply asking why can go a long way. Like, you had a long day, like this or that. When a girl gets upset, and she's taking out her frustration on you, sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with you. And that's what separates the boys from the men, because the men are gonna ask, what went wrong? Is your day okay? Do you just need a minute to yourself? Compared to a boy is going to, once again, the transfer of the hate, the transfer of the negative emotion, they want to transfer it right back rather than transmute it, turn it into something else, turn it into love. You gotta understand that love is the most powerful emotion. You have to forgive your enemies, even when they try to persecute you. And it sounds hard, it sounds difficult, but you just gotta simply understand that two concepts. Only God can judge. And number two, you're not perfect. I guarantee you there's parts of yourself that you don't like. There's parts of yourself that you feel like it could be better. But you don't say, dang, I hate that part of myself. I hate this about myself. You understand that that's a part of who you are. It's a certain flaw that you have, but you don't hate it. In the same way, why would you now hate somebody else? Just because they're not you, just because they're not related to you by blood? That's ridiculous. So to wrap it up, when you see a transfer of hate being sent your way, stop that cycle. Transmute it with love. Try to either understand that person's perspective, why they're acting the way that they're acting. Find the source. And if you can break the source of what's creating this hate, then it will change everything. If you can't do that, just simply leave it to the Most High and pray about it. Be like, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. Be sincere in your hearts. Pray that whatever strongholds, whatever principalities, whatever dark forces, whatever sin that is dwelling within them, pray that the Heavenly Father can bring it out. The Almighty Yahweh can give the person the salvation that they need. That He is merciful, that He's forgiving, and He will give this person a new life. At the end of the day, I ain't a preacher. I'm just a guy talking.